Hello and aloha, the Baha'is of the world. Time is 11:47. Today is the 7th of June. Oh God. This are the final lines of this Mathnavi of Baha'u'llah. I explained to you last time that Baha'u'llah has become very personal at the end of this Mathnavi, and he talks about expresses his personal feeling for the city of Zora, which is another name for Baghdad. And that city is called the city of peace. And Baha'u'llah declared his mission in that city, in the Garden of Ridwan, but he was taken away from there. And especially Baha'u'llah liked to visit Iraq, the shrine of Imam Hussein. Muslims, traditions, the Shiites, they believe in the day of resurrection. God will send two messengers. The one is called Mehdi. By mistake they call him an imam, but he actually is the messenger of God with a mission, with the new books. But they say Mehdi will come after 7 or 9 years, he will die. And after him, Imam Hussein, the one who was martyred in Karbala, whose name is Hosanna in the Bible, he will come after Mahdi and he will bury the body of Mahdi. And Baha'u'llah's name, actually the given name, he was Hussein. So his name is Hussein Ali, which, by the way, is directly the return of Hussein, according to Shiites. So Baha'u'llah alludes to that here. The last line was that he says, though the wind of the morning go to the city of Zora, the people of Zora. And it is continuing that line. He says to the wind, Pas begu yash ki Madine kerdegar. Pas, then tell her. Begu means tell her. O, K. K is abbreviations for K-A. That O, Madine Kerdegar. Madine means the city. Kerdegar means God. It says to the wind, tell to the city that O, city of God. Chun bemandi. Chun when bemandi remained. Chun ke when that raft gone as from Barat, which we cannot say Barat in poetry, we have to say Bart. Omit the A for the meter of the poem. Chun ke raft as Bart from your side, Yar, the friend. Tell him, O city, how did you remain? When that the beloved, your beloved, is gone away from you. He says, tell to the city, how did you remain when your beloved left that city, left you? Yar to dar habso zindan mubtala. Yar to, yar means beloved, to yours. Dar in habs, jail, O and zindan, prison, mubtala, afflicted. Your beloved is afflicted in the jail and prison. This poem and this writing is revealed when Baha'u'llah was in Istanbul, which he was not yet imprisoned in the present city of Akka. So these are all prophetic, because at that time Baha'u'llah was not in jail in Istanbul, but he was kept house arrest in some house. I have been in that place. So he says, your beloved is afflicted in jail and prison, chun Hussein andar zameen Karbala. Chun, like Hussein, that is the Islam, the third successors of Muhammad. And there in Zameen, the land, Karbala. Karbala, you know, the Karbala, it's been the recent event in Iraq. The name of Karbala has come a lot of time. Bala actually means affliction. Karbala means the land of suffering and affliction. That's what Karbala means. Because Hussein, the successors of Muhammad, was invited by the people of Iraq all the way from Mecca there. Then there he found nobody could help him, nobody could assist him. And of course Yazid, which was the caliph at the time, the wrong successor, the man who not only broke the covenant of Muhammad, but wrongfully claimed that he is the caliph and the successor. And nobody voted for him, nobody appointed him. He's one of the worst news that God in the history of religion has seen. So it says like Hussein, because Baha'u'llah's name is Hussein, but he's referred to as like Hussein, like that Hussein, in the land of Karbala, which means the land of pain, the land of affliction and pain. Then he refers to himself as opposed to that Hussein. That Hussein had one Yazid, which ultimately killed Imam Hussein, martyred he was. But Baha'u'llah says, Yek Husseino sad hizara nash Yazid. Yek means one, Hussein, and sad hizara nash, 100,000s of Yazid. Yazid is the most cruel, the transgressor of Islam. He says one Hussein, but 100,000s of Yazid. Really, Baha'u'llah's life has to be studied by the modern thinker to find out how many pain he was suffering. Many. Not just from the Muslims, that is the Shiite. Bab was afflicted among the Shiites. But Baha'u'llah and the Baha'is were attacked by Shiites, now in the Ottoman Empire by Sunnis, and now after death of the Bab by the covenant breakers of the Babi faith, which Azal and his groups, they literally poisoned Baha'u'llah and threw poison in the well, and many people got sick. But they brought doctor said Baha'u'llah has taken hemlock and he will die. But miraculously Baha'u'llah didn't die because of that poison, but his hand was shaken all his life, like Parkinson's disease. But he didn't have Parkinson. It's just the effect of that hemlock in his body. So that is why he says there's thousands of Yazids. So Yek Husseino sad hizara nash Yazid, one Hussein and 100,000s of Yazid. Yek Habibo in hame dive anid. Yek means one, Habib means friend, O means and, in this, hame all, div means evil, the devil, anid means enemy. It says one friend and so many evil enemies, because he had so many enemies. On the top of all of that, the ignorance, the oblivion of the Baha'is was also afflicting Baha'u'llah. They were doing some horrendous things to Baha'u'llah and the Baha'is, these covenant breakers. Every time somebody wants to visit Baha'u'llah, they create a problem for that person. The person would get arrested, or their money would be taken away by the soldiers. They couldn't see Baha'u'llah. So some of the Baha'is, probably like me, they couldn't take it anymore. They said, Baha'u'llah, we love you, but we're not going to listen to you. We are going to kill these people. And they did. So Baha'u'llah was actually arrested while he was in prison. That you are responsible for this killing. And that is when the tablet, the fire tablet, was revealed. And they were causing a lot of problem. Really terrible problem. So they killed them. So among the enemies, even the friends, that Baha'u'llah loved them, and they loved Baha'u'llah, but they were not able to listen to him. Sometimes it is so hard to be a Baha'i, and I understand that very well. It's very hard. They were telling me that you're such a intelligent philosopher, Mr. Timuri. Why didn't you stay among the Baha'is without claiming your eldership and penetrating the faith? Your books were about to be printed, and once you were on the top, then you could declare. I told them, yes, that is politics. The purpose is not to push people by one way or other to understand my eldership. No. There is no push and shove in the faith of God. He absolutely will not do that. Especially the Baha'i faith. In Islam and other religions, there was some of that because people were so childish. God had to push them together someplace, but not in the Baha'i faith. So I said, yes, I know all of that, but I could not go towards that approach. That would be a political approach. This is spiritual, is naked, is very clean. There is no hocus pocus here. The truth is what you see. Now, if I come and use politics, I would kill the very essence of the message. I am man of God, work for God. I know nothing but simplicity and innocence. Not when I'm talking to the Baha'is and to people about their spirituality. I might use politics when I sign a contract with somebody to do their house, or become a friend to somebody, but not to the universal laws of justice. I couldn't. I knew enough not to send this message to the National Spiritual Assembly because it's not infallible, but I will send it to the universal laws of justice. It is the test of God for them. So I told them it does not go with how you say. If I want to use that kind of an approach, I would not be able to be myself, write poetry, or talk like that. So this is a test for the Baha'is and a test for me. But the truth is how it is. It comes out. Okay. Back to these. Then Baha'u'llah, after he refers that he is like Hussein, but 1,000 times worse the situation. Then he says, Chun Kalim and dar miaun Qibtiyan, Chun like Kalim is a title of Moses in Islam. Kalim means the person who talks a lot, who spoke to God. Chun Kalim and dar in mian amongst Qibtiyan, the Coptians. The Copt, C-O-P-T, the name is written in the Book of Certitude. Those are the pharaohs and his enemies that they were against the Septian, and they called Jews Sept. So the Copts were against the sect. It says, like Moses amongst the Coptians, Yaw Ruhullah, Miaw Septian, or like Ruhullah, the Spirit of God. It is the title of Jesus Christ in Quran. Muslims, they call him Ruhullah, the Spirit of God, which means Jesus Christ. Or like Jesus Christ among the Septians. Septians, now these are the Jews. Because the Jews this time, the same Jews that they were attacked by the Copt, now they were not accepting Jesus Christ. He says that is what has happened. Because in one way he was attacked by the Muslim, and on the other way he was attacked by the very follower of the Bab, which would be like the Septins. Then he refers to Joseph. همچو یوسف اندر افتاده به چاه, like Joseph fallen into the well. You know the story of Joseph and his brothers. They were jealous of him and they threw him into the well. And they went to Jacob and they said that Joseph has been killed by a wolf. The wolf ate Joseph, and this is the bloody shirt of Joseph. So Baha'u'llah says, just like Joseph fallen into the chaw means well, the dungeon, but not the chaw that Joseph was in it, a different chaw. It's very deep. I only understand what he says. He says, on chahi ke nabvadash payaw no ra. And Joseph falling into the chaw, there was a way to get him out. Baha'u'llah says, on chahi. Chahi is the abbreviations of chahi. Aleph is omitted. On chahi, that well, ke, that, nabbadash, there isn't for it, and, payan, and ra, a way out. Ra means path, payan means end. He says a well that is endless and no way out of it. What well Baha'u'llah is in, that there is no end to it, and there is no path out of it. That is the divine agony of God. I'll let you speculate on it yourself. And finally he says, Bulbulat shud mubtala wa dar qafas. Your nightingale, bulbul, means the sweet melody of bulbul. Much like cardinal. In Iran there's a yellow color cardinal almost, called bulbul, nightingale. It's a symbol of sweet melodies. So bulbulat shud mubtala, your nightingale should became mubtala, afflicted, and therein qafas. Qafas means cage. Your nightingale fallen into the cage. Your nightingale, he's talking about that Iraq, Dar es Salaam, the city of peace. See, it is not just a city, it's the spiritual city. So your nightingale is afflicted into the qafas. Baste shud. Baste shud means closed. Ham zin qafas, ham also zin from this qafas, from this cage, raw nafas, the passage of the breathing. Raw means pat, nafas means breathing. He says, the passage of the breathing in this cage. It's closed. Cannot breathe even. It's a reference to the time that he was in Iran, in the Siyah, the dungeon, the Black Pit in Tehran. But also is talking about what happens to him in the future. All of this affliction did not happen to him in Istanbul, but Baha'u'llah knew he's coming. So, I concluded this Mathnavi, a very hasty and lame explanations, nevertheless essential. I brought this to you. I like you to try to use the transliterations and read it in original language. And I have started the transliterations and I will finish it. And I will put it on the website that you can see this Mathnavi transliteration, transliterated from Persians. And I've given you all the words. I told you how to use it in future. Okay, time is 12:09. I have few errands to do. And after I finish this, or even before if I find time, I'm going to speak about Western civilization to take on the Americans. This is the year of elections. I want to bring the itinerary of human being from the time that began the United States and what has happened to now, right now. See if we can elucidate and help the people of the planet, especially Americans. They need it. And by God, if there's one person on this planet that wants me to stay, God will keep me. But if there isn't anyone, He will take me away. I had a vision last night that I was dying. I had a sickness. And Tawheed had a vision that I have been very old, complaining to him about that I am losing my power. And he saw there were 3 others sleeping under the blankets. Those are the other elders that they will come out. But if there is one, even one, God will keep me. But if there isn't anyone, there is no use for me, He will take me away. My sorrow would be that if I go find out that there was more to be done. What I have told you so far is what I have understood from the Baha'i faith in the last some 13 odd years. But by God, I have a computer that's subscribed to the internet. I can say millions of things, a lot of things. But we have to find a customer for it first. So my dear friend, till the next time, Allahu Akbar. To all of you, may God protect one and all.